Hello, Aries. Thank you so much for being here. I hope all of you guys are doing well. Now, having said that, Aries, with ecstasy, I think you're doing very well. So this week, Aries, from Lay Vampire, you pulled ecstasy, yielding, rapture, and bliss. But then from chakra wisdom, you pulled destiny. So then the question becomes, who is in control? When you're looking at ecstasy, it's talking about releasing yourself to a higher power or a person. But the whole point of doing this is in order to experience bliss. But with destiny coming through, some of you are running the risk here of losing yourself because you want to stay in that ecstatic experience. Destiny is asking you to take a risk and to have life the way that you choose. Now, definitely for some of you, you're taking control of your life now, and because of that, you're experiencing bliss. But again, this card is about releasing it and releasing control to an outside source. Whether that's spiritually or whether that's physically. All right, Aries, here we go. Here's your overall for the week. The sun. Very nice. And it's funny because the first thing I hear is ego. The ego, right? The sun is about the self. Now, for some of you, it could be an experience that you're having, especially with ecstasy, that is, rejuvenating you, revitalizing you. It's blissful, it's happy, it's good. Some of you are in really good health. Now, on the other side of it, there may be a situation that may be draining you. It just depends. But with the sun, though, too, it's about things that are being brought out into the light of day. You're seeing things as they really are, right? But normally the sun being the signifier, that's perfect. It's a calming feeling. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, in the past, the Seven of Wands. So defending yourself, defending choices that you've made, needing to speak up for yourself. I am not taking any more shit, right? And I love it, but why? Why are you needing to defend yourself? What was it that you did in the past that led you to this point? And what does that mean now? Right? And right now, that's not good. Jeez. The Four of Cups in the present. For Aries to be bored is not a good thing, right? Now, for some of you, it's just not being emotionally involved in something. It's not good enough. For some of you, it's not seeing the offers that you want coming through. It could be that you're rejecting something here, but normally with the Four of Cups, it's boredom. It's, emotionally lethargic, apathy, just bleh, right? Like, I'm not in it. I'm not emotionally invested in something, which worries me a little bit. Because if you went through all the effort to defend yourself and the choice that you made, and you're just ultimately coming here to the Four of Cups, it's not a good thing, right? Future conditions and Knight of Wands. What I worry about here is, the Knight of Wands doesn't really look at the long term, right? And then there's also, not really paying attention to the consequences of actions. As far as you being a fire sign and acting this way, right? My warning is you don't want to be in and out, right? There's no, real look at the long term. But then at the same time, I feel like you need to do this, especially with this boredom happening. It's just, what are the consequences of the actions? The sun being there, I would say you're fine, right? Do what you got to do to get some more passion going. Definitely go after the things that you want with passion. But, I would be careful on how you choose to do this. Now for some of you, it could literally mean somebody else coming in and out of your life flow too, but I feel more so that this is you. And this is what happens when Aries gets bored and dissatisfied. They're going to go and do something because they need some passion and excitement, right? My goodness. And again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, none of these are bad cards. I just feel like, you went through all this struggle and effort, to stand up for yourself just to be bored. And now we're doing something, that maybe not might be so good to, it just depends, right? But with the sun being there, again, it's the reason why you're doing it is to have that, rejuvenation, right? To be revitalized again. Oh boy. Oh shit. Your best path to follow, death. Good Christ. Now, with death, especially when we're talking about, your actions and what you choose to do, death is saying that the way that you used to do things is over. It is over. Now, the other thing, though, too, is you can't keep dealing with this energy of the Four of Cups. If you're dissatisfied with something and you're not feeling it, it needs to be done with, right? The whole point of death is to recreate yourself. The ending of an era and the beginning of a new one. And it's specifically having to do with you, right? You, and the way that you're projecting yourself and the way that you're doing things. But something's got to be done. It has to be done and over with, Stop wasting your time and effort standing up for things that are not fulfilling you, But you're not really moving away from it, though, either. And that's the problem with the Four of Cups, right? It would have been different. It would have been the 8. But, instead of dealing with the boredom, I fear that some of you are doing something, just to have an experience, just to have some more passion, But again, death is saying that something's got to be done with. The way that you used to do things has to be over with, right? A situation needs to be over with so that we're not doing things that we may regret in the future. Oh, Aries, I'm telling you. In your environment, the Ace of Wands. Oh boy. Now, for some of you, with the Four of Cups being there, it's almost like, having that fire lit under your ass, but it not being good enough. On the other hand, it could be that you're bored with something and now you're following a different passion here. And my warning would be to be careful about where your passions are leading you. That being in your environment could be saying that what you're dealing with now may not be good enough, but you've got something, right behind this to kind of fill the gap, so to speak, right? So one situation isn't working out. It's not fulfilling you. We're bored and we're not interested. But we have this to fall back on. There's something here that you get to experience on a physical level with the Ace of Wands, right? Physical passion, more specifically. And again, you got the Knight of Wands coming out. And the situation may revitalize you. It may make you feel good again. But, death is saying that, man, we're going to have to change something. Otherwise, I almost feel like it's going to be a repeating pattern, Oh my goodness. Your hopes and your fears, the Ten of Wands. I almost feel like some of you are done with the situation. You're wanting to move on to something new that you have a passion for. But the Ten of Wands is suggesting that, you're still carrying the weight of a situation that you're not dealing with because of the Four of Cups being there. Why are you carrying all that shit? You've got the Ace of Wands right there. The whole point of the 10 is to drop that shit and go back to the 1. For some of you, it could just be that you feel like getting to what you want is an uphill battle, though, too, right? But whatever it is, there's no point. There's just no point in doing that to yourself, And it could be that, whatever it is that you're dealing with here with the Four of Cups, right? That situation could have been weighing on you for a while. But are you dealing with it properly, though, is the question. Man, Aries. Oh, and then coming out. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. The Four of Wands coming out of the situation. This is feeling like you have hit, the major milestone, right? We've hit a milestone. It's time to celebrate. For some of you, this could have to do with, and what's funny is when I look at this card, I think of, people that are starting a family, integrating families together, right? Now, it could be that you decide that you're going to move in with somebody. It could be that you're celebrating a commitment. It could be marriage, things like that, right? Because there is a celebration there. But more so, the celebrating that comes out for me, is because we've hit, a major milestone. You're doing something here that is, kind of correcting the issue of boredom with the Four of Cups. And you're getting to a spot where there's stability. I don't think it's a bad thing. This is what you want. This is what you've been wanting with the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups and the Four of Wands. Yes. Right? It is about having your wishes fulfilled. And this is it. This is it right here. For some of you, it may be starting a new family, right? But the Eight of Wands the Eight of Swords is suggesting that there may be something that you feel trapped in. Like you can't see your way out of it. How do I get out of this? But, what are you really doing to get out of it? Well, nothing. You're still balancing out a situation that is not satisfying to you, and then at the same time trying to make the most of this. Right? Wow, Aries. I would say to you that before you decide to do anything, especially with that energy of the Knight of Wands, you're going to have to really look at what is it that you're dissatisfied with before you do anything here. Because you're still carrying all the burdens of this on your back, right? And the whole point of what you're trying to do is to kind of like breathe life back into yourself. And it's all going to have to do with this right here. Whatever that Four of Wands is. And, like I said, commitment sticks out to me on this one. Possibly starting a new family for some of you. And this has been something that, you've been fighting for, though, too, with the damn Seven of Wands coming through, But yet, I feel like we're not really doing things the way that we need to because of death being here, right? It's saying that something needs to be over with before you can full-on experience this. But instead, it's like you're still juggling both out. Yes, if you are not happy in a situation and you're wanting more passion in your life and you have a chance to experience something that is full of passion, right, and the physical, do it. Do it. Life is too short. Life is too short to be staying in situations that you are dissatisfied with. This could be a relationship. It could be work. Whatever it is, Aries, right now, you've got something else waiting for you. But something has to change. And you have to change too. Right? Guidance is saying that, you have to pay attention to your inner guidance and where it is leading you. If you are not happy, you need to deal with the situation. You need to move on to this new experience. But the only way to do that is to drop the burdens of the bullshit, see your way out of this, and stop juggling two situations and possibly two different relationships, right? Surrender to love. And that's where ecstasy is coming through. You can still experience this and still be in control of your own life. Wow, Aries, wow. All right, we're going to take a look at Whispers of Love to see what messages there are for you guys as far as relationships. Whew, boy. Right? What is the point in doing anything if you don't have love for what you're doing? Right? And, I feel like, and here I'm going on a rant here, but I feel like a lot of people take this for granted. Love is the most powerful emotion that you can send out. The frequency that comes off of that is going to do nothing but bring wonderful things into your life, right? You got to have love for what you're doing. You got to have love for your life, right? And you need to surrender to it. And you need to surrender to the inner guidance that is leading you to that. Consider your foundation. You are being asked to look at how committed you are to love. Commitment, Four of Wands, right? Maybe making new commitments here, needing to stick to them and stop juggling out other shit, possibly. And then choose love. You always have a choice as to what you should do. There you go. There you go. This whole reading to me, it just feels like instead of dealing with something, you're just, kind of doing whatever you feel like you want to do. But if there are commitments that are involved here, you got to stop balancing that shit out. You got to have, you're going to have to make that choice. Either you're going to stay in a situation that you're dissatisfied with, or you're going to go after the things that you actually want. Again, with the Nine of Cups. But you have to see your way out of this situation. You got to end one and start the other. You can't be balancing this shit out, right? My goodness, Aries. But yeah, choose love. You have love. There it is. Consider your foundation. How committed are you to this? You know, if you're not that committed, then maybe it's time to stop balancing this out and stop going after things based on, you know, physical satisfaction with the Ace of Wands, possibly. All right, Aries, so I really do feel like with the Knight of Wands in future conditions, and especially with the sun being the overall here, that what you're doing is, you know, trying to like revitalize yourself, because I think that a lot of you are bored right now and dissatisfied with what is going on. You know, and what kills me here is that you come into this like, you know, fighting, right? I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it's like you're defending what's important to you, but then you're just bored. Now, you know, with the death being here again, something's got to end, something's got to change, and you have to change. You know, the way that you do things has to change. But you, I feel like, I don't think that this is what you're bored with. I think that this is what is waiting for you, what you're falling back on, with the Ace of Wands being in your environment. But again, looking at the Ten of Wands with the Four of Cups, you're not really ending a situation that you're not happy with. It's saying that, you know, you're fearing that you're going to continuously carry those burdens on you instead of, you know, ending a situation and then going into another one. Now, with the Four of Wands coming out, you know, I think that some of you are almost there. I more so feel like there are delays happening because, you know, first of all, yes, this is exactly what you want, right? And, you know, again, with the Four of Wands, commitment seems to stick out the most. So I do think that for some of you, it's going to have to do with, you know, starting a new family or making a commitment. But it's really about getting to that spot where you start to feel stability. And it's what you want. It is what you want. But you can't see your way out of a situation, and instead of ending it and dealing with it, you're juggling it out. Which is why, you know, the Ten of Wands is there, where you feel like, oh man, I'm carrying all this shit. Now, I'm biased when it comes to things like this. You know, of course I'm going to tell you, life is too fucking short. The meat suit is not going to last forever. You need to go out and you need to experience things. And, you know, it's no wonder why these two are coming out with Ecstasy and Destiny, right? But, you know, you have to remember that you are in control of your own destiny. You are the master of your own destiny. You don't have to continuously stay in situations that are dissatisfying to you. You know, but it may be difficult, though, because of the Eight of Swords showing up. It's like, it feels like it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And again, with the Ten of Wands there, you know. But, you know... right? Surrender to love. Your inner guidance is telling you to surrender to love. That you do have a choice here, but you need to look at how committed you are to this, right? Aries, I just think that, you know, be careful about what you're doing here as far as, you know, the Knight of Wands. I mean, I love it in terms of your energy, and it very much speaks to you. You know, and it's not a bad thing, right? It's about having experiences, having passion in your life. And if that doesn't describe you, I don't know what the hell does. You know, it's just, we're not looking at other things that probably need to be taken care of. Right? But it's not bad. I just worry about you guys being bored and then, you know, doing something that's not really helping the issue that's right in front of you right now.